Hey guys, this is Jason
This
Douglas.
is Adam MacArthur, voice of Yuji Itadori.
This is Derek Snow, the voice of Shinra Kusakabe.
This is Phil Parsons, voice of Kenny the Ripper Ackerman.
It's Merc Nguyen. You're watching Voice of the Heroes. Take it away, Flea Boy.
What's good, everybody? You already know who it is and what it is. And if you don't, it's the one and only one, Flea Boy Jetson. And you're watching the Voice of the Heroes podcast. So if you're tuning in for the first time, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, click that notification bell so you can be notified for upcoming interviews and discussions on your favorite heroes and villains from around the world. And today, we got a very special guest here to talk about his new role in the Netflix brand new anime show, Devil May Cry. Let's welcome Benjamin Abiola. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me. I'm excited, man. God is good. A lot of great things are happening for me, so I'm just happy to be able to share my experience with you and answer a couple questions.
Thank you so much for coming by, man. I'm so excited. Let's get into it, man. I've been following you on social media, and for those who's not following, man, make sure y'all tap in. Let people know where to follow you at.
Absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok at Sir Abiola, Sirabiola. And that's where I post a lot of my content. So y'all can check me out.
And you recently just posted your newest commercial with Kevin Hart, Miley Flanagan, the voice of Naruto, for those who don't know, which was amazing. How was that experience for you?
Oh, man, it was a blessing. It was a lot of fun. I think for me personally, just in my career, my journey, I've been often compared to Kevin Hart. So for this cinematic crossover to finally happen, it was a lot of fun. And just even being surrounded with all the other actors, because obviously the commercial was like the school of acting like Kevin Hart. So, you had Miley and, she's the voice of Naruto there. You had myself and a bunch of other talented actors. And we were really just playing within the scene what it meant to be like Kevin. And it was just really cool because he was actually there witnessing us act like him. So it was a really dope experience.
Yeah, I found it funny. Kevin Hart is always hilarious. I thought you was hilarious. Molly she got her own sense of humor. She's just hysterical. She's dumb funny. But let's get to it, man. For those, also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all, we got the PS5 giveaway going. But let's get into the show. Let's get into Devil May Cry. Who is Anders really, and what can you tell us about his backstory, motives, or personal demons?
Absolutely. Yeah. Anders he's a complicated character. He's a father. Obviously, if you've seen the show, you know that he's got two daughters. Single father is what we'd all assume, right? And he's just one of those guys that wants to do whatever he can to take care of his family, take care of his daughters. And even if that means compromising the fate of the earth, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to be that selfish when it's about what you care about and who you love. And so Anders isn't a bad guy by any means. I feel like he's someone who truly means well, but he's put in these awkward predicaments that kind of make him have to question his judgment or his integrity when he knows right from wrong.
Definitely. And Anders' family situation was super mysterious in season one. We was given little clues behind the scenes here and there, but you think where they left off in season one, they'll pick up in season two?
I mean, I sure hope so. Everything is kept in the dark, there's no spoilers on our end either. So I think it would be great to see what comes of it, especially my character and his family background, and kind of see how we got to where he is and how he had to make that sacrifice. Like in the show, he talks about how, he signed up for the army thinking this was just going to be a regular army gig, maybe a National Guard or something, but then he's now, fighting demons. So that was completely out of left field for him. I think there's a lot of character development still there for Anders. So, hopefully, if not in this season, maybe seasons in the future. But I think it's definitely not the end for it.
Yeah, because, season 2 has already been announced. We know it's on its way. Everybody's excited for it. And I do believe there, like you said, there's a lot of room for a story to be told with Anders. And I think they're going to dig deeper into his past. And I hope we get a whole episode exploring how he got to the point he's at, what happened to his daughters. Does the White Rabbit still have him? Did he leave them with somebody? Because he's going through a lot to, make sure that the White Rabbit is happy. What are you hoping that they explore a little more in the character?
Man, I mean, obviously we want to know his backstory, his relationship with his daughters, how he became the single father. And then
I didn't think about that. That is a good idea. That
You
is
know what I mean?
good.
Like, what was the reason, and why is it just all on his shoulders now? Like, I would love to discover that. And then also, just like, how does he move forward based on everything that's happened to him so far? Right? You know, he's been shot, he's been stabbed, he's been clawed, and he just keeps coming back. He's got all these like crazy battle scars, and I feel like that's an underlining story too, as well. Like, he just keeps coming back after all these crazy things. So I think, how does that change him? Like, you know, he's kind of like a jittery, uh, funny, sense of relief type of guy, but obviously he's masking a lot underneath that. So I think hopefully when we see him in the future, if we see him in the future, that we kind of see how maybe he matures, or maybe if he becomes this like badass demon slaying, you know what I mean, son of a gun. So I don't know. I'm just excited for where his story can evolve into.
Yeah, because in the show, he's obviously playing a double agent that has to be intense. How
Yep.
did you approach the mental and emotional gymnastics of Anders being caught in between two dangerous worlds?
Mm. I think luckily when we taped our sessions, we went by episodes, right? So when I got my script, I knew, okay, this is kind of like the mode I'm in. I'm just like, oh, hey, happy to be here, trying to do whatever I can to impress Vice President Baines, Mary, like whoever it is. And then later on in the episodes, you start to see the shift where it's like, I'm looking out for me. Like, you know, there's that scene in episode 3 where it's me and the professor, and he's like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, I had to. Like, what good is, you know, having peace on earth when your own personal life is hell? You know what I mean? And so
Mm.
I think for me personally, I just kind of had to hit a switch, and I thought about my two younger sisters, and like they're my world, and so I was like, you know, Anders, these two daughters are his world, and so I kind of put myself in his shoes and vice versa, and I was like, you know, if these were my sisters, like I'm doing whatever it takes, you know what I mean? So like emotionally, it was easy for me to go there because I attached it to a personal thing that I care about just as much. And so I was able to kind of unleash those emotions in the booth. And it was a lot because, you know, you do a bunch of different takes and the director's like, okay, let's do one more this way. And so I remember when I was just like doing the screams and like yelling, like, you know, I had to. And so then I would come out of it, but then it would take me a little while to like breathe through and then really like control those emotions. But like the director was really great and everyone was like, yo, that was so dope. Can you do it again? I was like, yeah. So
Hey,
you
I
really just
love
got
it,
to prepare,
man.
man.
I love it. I love the dialogue of the whole series, actually. I thought the
Yeah.
dialogue was well written. They did a
Mm-hmm.
fantastic job of adapting, you know, a new version of Devil May
Yeah.
Cry. And
Yeah.
within this new version, and we get a new villain, the White Rabbit. Did you
Mhm.
ever find yourself sympathizing with the White Rabbit, or were you just like, oh, this guy's just gotta go?
I feel like Anders never sympathized with him. He's just like, this dude is the worst. I just want to get my daughters out of like harm's way. But I think me, as I'm watching the series and I'm watching episode 6, I'm like, damn. I mean, I get where he's coming from, but obviously he was going to the extreme. So like, I don't see myself sympathizing for him simply because he has something that I care about and he's kind of using it against me and like dangling in my face. So I don't see Anders at any point truly being on the side of the rabbit. He's just more so like doing what he can to survive.
Yeah, I thought White Rabbit was a well written villain,
Oh,
one
he
of the
was so
best
good.
villains that
So
we
good.
got recently. Now, Anders, like we all know, is a father trying to protect his daughters in a brutal world. What was it like betraying that level of emotional depth? Now, you told us, you know, you was easy to go there because of your younger sisters.
Yeah.
Was there any other challenges that you met while voicing Anders?
Sometimes like, you know, comedy, when there's certain beats, right? And I'm one of those actors who I can improv really well and like to play off the energy when I'm an actor. And what most people don't know a lot of the times when you're doing these VO recordings is you're in a booth by yourself. So you're not necessarily interacting with the other actors and, you know, going back and forth with the banter. So when you have to bring that level of energy and that comedy and that physicality to your character, it can be challenging a little bit because you're only going off of what you bring to the table and what's on the pages. And so I think sometimes I'm like, okay, do I need to dial it up some more? But thankfully, you had an amazing director who kind of brought that out of me. And so I felt like that was a benefit for me because I can always just either decrease or increase my energy levels based on whatever it is that they want from
Okay, that's pretty dope. What was your favorite episode and what stood out about the anime to you the most?
me. Ooh, favorite episode. It's tough, and I won't say six because everybody loves six, right? I think outside of six is either three or eight for me. And the reason I want to say eight is because I had the privilege, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy, to share the screen in one of maybe his last known works and have a dialogue and a monologue with him on that scene on the helicopter. And he's talking about opening the gates of hell. And then my character kind of just loses it and has like one of these menacing, maniacal laughs. And he's just like, hell, like you must be out of your mind. And so I think that scene for me was truly great. And it was just a lot of fun to actually voice that specific scene. So I would say eight might be my favorite. And it kind of just ties the entire season together and makes you really excited for season two. And then what was your second question? My apologies.
And what about the anime stood out to you the most?
Oh man, just the depth in the storytelling. I think a lot of people just expected it to be this, just, demon thrasher and slasher, a couple jokes here and there, but it actually has a lot of heart. The stories, everyone has a backstory. Every character you want to learn a little bit more about, like how did they get to this position. And so I think I'm really interested in uncovering the backstories of each character and learning how they develop. I think it was written really well, especially for people who aren't familiar with the series. It's easy for them to get acclimated with it and get invested right off of just episode one. So I think that's kudos to Adi, kudos to Alex for their creation and what they've done.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm a huge fan of not only the original anime that came out before, but also the video games, things like that. So it's pretty dope to see all the Easter eggs that they
Yeah.
had, not even just from the Devil May Cry series, but also from the Capcom universe.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that stood out to me, which I loved, I want to get your take on, was the
Mhm.
score, the music. The music
Yeah.
I thought
Oh
was
man.
really good, was really brilliant. But now that this role is in the bag, right? Because
Yeah.
you're more like a film producer, on in front of the camera kind of guy. With this role, do you
Mhm.
think it's gonna open more doors? And would you like to explore the world of voice acting? And if so, what ongoing or upcoming projects would you like to be a part of?
Sure. I mean, first of all, I hope so. I definitely hope this opens up some more doors. This is my first major role as a voice actor. I've been voice acting for some years now, but this is I consider a breakout role for sure. And so I hope this catapults me into more opportunities. I hope casting directors or series creators are watching the show and they're like, I want a voice like that. I want someone to come do Anders over here. Like that's what I'm hoping, and it becomes like a thing where now I'm being requested. But I really love voice animation. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, and voice acting specifically because there's a different level of emotion and depth that you can bring to a character that maybe sometimes the vanities of being on screen doesn't allow. And so when you're in that booth, you can really play with the different emotional depths. For me, I would love to voice in a number of series. Like X-Men '97 is
Ooh.
fantastic, from the same Studio Mirror. So like I would love the opportunity to voice a character in that series because I love the X-Men in general. Like my ultimate goal in front of the camera is to become an X-Men somehow, some way. So maybe this is like a springboard into doing that when I start with the series. But I'm really open to anything, honestly. I think there's a vast amount of opportunities in the voice acting lane, and now I'm kind of just like I'm getting in the water. I dip my toe in there. I like it. It's warm. Let's get to swimming.
I love it, man. I love that for
Yes,
you.
sir.
I'm not even gonna lie, man.
Thank you,
I'm
bro.
rooting for you over here. You best
Thank you,
believe
bro.
that, man. Definitely.
That's love. That's love.
Now these next couple of questions are universal. I ask mostly all my guests these questions, but I want them to fit your personality and yourself, so you don't have to go with the popular opinions.
Okay.
This is straight. I want to hear from your take and your take only.
Say
Who are
less.
your top five fictional characters all time? You can go cartoons, anime, you can go books, film,
Mm,
any
that's
fictional
tough.
character that was an inspiration to you.
Okay. Um, that's a hard one. Okay, I say we'll go T'Challa, Black
Okay,
Panther.
let's go.
Then we go T'Challa, Black Panther. We go Wolverine. Go Wolverine. Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. Hmm. Wow. Gohan, Dragon Ball Z, Wolverine, T'Challa.
You got two more.
I got two more. And I had another one earlier. Who was I thinking about? Uh, two more. And I had them earlier, and I can't even remember who they are.
Mind you, you can go books, you can
We could
go
go books, TV.
movies, and you can go outside the genre too of anime and cartoons. You can go
Okay.
into like, you know, Star Wars, anything.
Top 5 fictional. Wolverine, T'Challa,
Video game characters.
Gohan. You know who I really like that I guess it doesn't count. I like some of the Game of Thrones characters. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I
Oh,
fuck
that
with Jon
counts. They're
Snow.
fictional characters. Book and
Fictional.
television.
Yeah,
Who's
okay,
your
cool.
favorite?
I'll go Jon Snow, man.
Oh, okay, to go.
You gotta go Jon Snow.
And you got one more.
I got one more. Who am I gonna put in there? Number 5. I did like Static Shock going up. Not gonna lie, Static Shock.
That's a good
was
choice.
vibe. That's Static Shock. I stick with Static. Yeah, those 5. I feel
All
like
right,
it's gonna change next week, but you know, I stick with those right now.
It's about to get harder though. The next question is,
What's that?
who is your Mount Rushmore of voice actors? You can only pick 4. It could either be peers, people who inspired you.
Wow.
You have 4 voice actors. And keep in mind, they could be, they could be actors too, because people like Robin Williams, voiced a couple of great characters like the genie in Aladdin.
Okay, I got you. We go Eddie Murphy, because he did Mushu and he did Donkey.
Okay.
Cree Summers, because she's a complete legend and has voiced hundreds, if not thousands, of voices. We go Keith David, because that voice.
He's one of my goats. I love him.
Silver throat for real.
Yeah, I love him, man.
Dang, who's going on? Who's number 4? As quiet as it's kept, I want to give it to Regina King just because she did Boondocks and she did both Riley.
I love that for her, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't know it was her until like way after, and I was like, "No, you're lying." That was Regina. Man, she's a goat for that.
I gotta give it to her for that. I gotta give it to her. That's my Mount Rushmore. Cree Summer, Regina King, Keith David, and who did I say? Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, that's a fantastic lineup. I'm not even going. He was actually in the series with one of my all-time favorites, Johnny Young Bosch. Man, I love that dude. That's like my
he
goat
really
deserves.
He deserves to be up there. I'm not gonna lie to you. Actually,
he's a goat, man. I truly love that dude, man. So now, what's one of the lines from any one of your characters? Your breakout role is Anders, but if you did have a favorite line from him that resonated with you on a personal level, what would that be?
It would have to be Anders for sure, and likely that moment where I'm with the professor, episode 3, and I'm talking about what's good in saving the planet if I can't save myself or save my family. And I think that just resonates with me. A lot of the things I do in my personal life are for my family, and so I just feel like nothing else matters until they're good. And so I felt that when I said that line, because it was like, I did that shit because I care about my people, and so I felt that on a personal level for sure.
Definitely, man. Thank you so much for coming through.
Yes,
but
sir.
Before you go, let people know where they can find you at. And also, do you have any upcoming projects or conventions that you're able to talk about?
Absolutely. Yes, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok at Sir Abiola. Got a couple projects coming out. I've been working on some short films. I just did the commercial with Kevin Hart. You can see Devil May Cry streaming right now on Netflix. And just, stay tuned to my socials. You'll see what we got cooking. Shot some really dope projects while I was in Nigeria earlier this year. And so I'm excited to, share that with the world. And until then, just keep staying tuned in and see what I got cooking.
Definitely. Heroes, villains, just know that all links will be provided for you in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We also got our PS5 giveaway still happening. So all you got to do to enter is simple. Like I said, just like, comment, and subscribe. The more videos you comment on, it's completely random. So the more that I see your name in the comment section, hey, you'll be that lucky one. Now,
Get that
also,
PS5.
that PS5, man. Or if you got one, you'll probably get a Cash App. So definitely lock in with us, man. At the milestone of 5K, I'll announce the winner. Big shout out to our last winner, BK. And let us know in the comment section who you would like to see next on the podcast. And like always, man, don't forget to love yourself, pass that love on, and love others. And if nobody told you so, just know your boy love you. Signing out.
Sing it with me.